In part 2, we will focus on post-structuralism. Now, as I have talked about structuralism and as I have talked about the relationship between signifier and signified and the relationship being arbitrary and language being a system of difference, uh, I think we will be able to understand post-structuralism better. Now, before we delve deep into the theory post-structuralism, let us first take a look at the term. Now, there are two aspects of this term. First, uh, post hyphen structure or structuralism, and post structuralism, which is this is non hyphenated. Post, as you know, means after. So a hyphenated term, post-structuralism, means after structuralism. So this is a temporal concept, temporal from time, temporal concept. That means structuralism and after structuralism. So we are living in post-structuralism period. That means period which comes after structuralism. So this is a temporal concept. Another term that is called post-structuralism, which is non-hyphenated, which indicates the movement or theory itself, which grew out of structuralism and which grew during this after structuralism phase. So while this indicates the movement, the theory, it indicates the temporal concept. Much like post modernism and post modernism, much like post colonialism, which is in your syllabus, and post colonialism. This indicates post colonialism, that means a period after colonialism. I mean, take the example of India, that means post 1947, and post colonialism indicate the movement, the ideology that exists in post colonial phase. So, I hope you have understood the terminology. Now, if structuralism started with Saussure, Ferdinand de Saussure, post-structuralism also started with a particular, you may say, a particular man called Jacques Derrida. Now, structuralism started, as you know, in 1960s. That means the second decade of the 20th century. Structuralism and post-structuralism started, you may say, in 1960s, right? Now this also started with a particular paper. I mean, Jacques Derrida went to attend a conference in Johns Hopkins University, along with some other famous French personalities, French intellectuals. There, at that conference, Derrida presented a paper, and it is said that Derrida actually prepared the paper within just 15 minutes prior to the conference. So actually he prepared the paper in a kind of hurry. So what is that? What is the title of the paper? You have to remember. Very important. I'm writing it. Structure, sign, and play in the discourse of the human sciences. So this is the name of the paper, which was presented as a lecture at a conference at Johns Hopkins University in 1966. Now what is the main insight of this paper? What is the main argument of this paper? The main argument of this paper is this, that the Saussurian concept of signifier referring to signified is not right. This is what Derrida proposes. Now, what is the meaning of this? Now, I told you, I gave you the example of house. As sound. If it is a sound, then it is a signifier. And the house, when it is a concept or image, is the signified. Derrida says, Saussure first said that signifier refers to signified. Derrida said, what we take to be signified, try to understand this. What we take to be signified is nothing but a conglomeration of so many signifiers. So what we take to be a signified is nothing but amalgamation or coexistence, you may say coexistence of so many signifiers. Now, what is the meaning of this? For example, house. The sound house refers to the image house, or this refers to the image house. Now, according to Saussure, this is the signified, the concept. Now, according to Derrida, this is nothing but a coexistence, a conglomeration of so many signifiers. What is this? For example, a house is made of brick, is made of cement, is made of sand, is made of water, is made of wood, is made of marble, is made of tin, is made of iron. A house is made of plastic, and so on and so forth. See, the image or the concept signified, which to Saussure or according to structuralism is a stable concept, becomes a conglomeration of so many things, right? We can't deny it. We can't deny it. Now take for example anything, iron. Now iron, again, if we take this as a sound, as a signifier, this also has many signified. Iron is, for example, when we say iron, it is taken from a mine. This concept comes to our mind. It is taken from mine by laborers, right? So it is taken from mine by machines, and it is transported to factory by transportation, and so on and so forth. Now if you take again machine to be a signifier, it has many, you will find signified. So this process has no end according to Derrida, because this process goes on continually. One signifier has many signified, and that signified also in turn becomes signifier. So this process goes on. This process goes on. The relationship, the referral of signifier to signified. Again, signified, which is nothing but a conglomeration or coexistence of signifier to signifiers, and to signifiers to signifiers. So Derrida says we never get to a stable thing where we stop for meaning, right? So meaning is always deferred and delayed. Take the note of these two words. Meaning of something, meaning of house is always deferred and delayed, right? Now before this, or at this point, you have to understand what I said in part 1, that is language is a system of difference, right? Language is a system of difference. That means a pen is a pen because it is not a house, it is not a chalk, it is not a duster, it is not a table. So pen is, for example, differentiated from, you may say, chalk, right? Blackboard is differentiated from whiteboard. Superior is differentiated from inferior. Um, Raw is differentiated from cooked. Well is differentiated from unwell, right? So what we get is a system of difference, or we call them binaries or binary oppositions. This you will find in your syllabus, binary or binary oppositions. So language is a system of difference, right? Now from this, so if language is a system of difference and meaning is, according to Derrida, is defer because meaning is delayed. Derrida coins a word combining two words, that is defer, that is meaning is delayed, deferred, postponed, and meaning also differ. I told you language is a system of difference. So the meaning of pen differs from the meaning of, for example, chalk. So meaning differs. Combining these two words, Derrida coins a new word as opposed to, now we have known difference, diffference. Derrida coins diffference. Different is a French word. Different, or it's a French word which combines two things, defer and differ, right? So meaning is a matter of different, which is a French word. Now next concept, logocentrism. What is this? So meaning is always deferred, meaning is always deferred. And for example, we have started with the example of house. So if we go back, so we are going forward from house to brick to machines to mine and so on and so forth. But if we go backward, how is this? How did this house come to exist? Right? So if we go backward and if we think philosophically, then we will go to the origin of the world. Think philosophically. Just this house just is just an example. How was our world created first? Now, if we take the Christian system, Christian theology, or the religious belief, the Christian belief, our world was created, or human beings were created from Adam and Eve, Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. This is the Christian belief of the creation, right? Genesis. If we take Darwinian belief, then our world was created through evolution, or one cell amoeba. This is a scientific belief. Now, remember, we are analyzing a single world. We are analyzing a single world from so many perspectives. There are many other perspectives, right? See, so there is the questions: how do we get to the origin? How we get to the origin? I told you, Derrida, or according to Derridian philosophy, there is no point, or I mean, it's very hard to get to the meaning. That is, it's hard to get to the origin point, original point, the point of origin. But the Western philosophy, traditionally speaking, Western philosophy has always banked on this, either on this, or maybe other things. This is what Derrida calls, or what is called, logocentrism. That means center of knowledge. That means center of knowledge means what? This or this. Derrida criticizes this. Now, Derrida criticizes this logocentrism, or logocentric idea of the word that exists in Western philosophy. So we have talked about binaries, we have talked about logocentrism. Uh, we also so one more thing that we should focus on is that is in your syllabus is this hyperreal or simulation. Now hyperreals, as the word suggests, hyper means above or extra, so this means above real or above reality, or you may say extra reality, where um, uh, there is real, you may say there is real without the origin. Actually, this is a concept from postmodernism. I don't know how it is given in this post-structuralist unit. Um, but let us try to understand. There is real without the origin. I told you that Derrida proposes that we never get to the origin. That's how we have only the process and never the ending. Take for example our photocopies. Our photocopies. For example, we get a note given by somebody, and then we photocopy it. We keep on photocopying. Now, what matters is not the original thing, original note, but what matters to us is the photocopies, isn't not? And when we focus on photocopies, that original is lost, and this what remains to us. Actually, this is a concept developed by, again, a French theorist, Jean Baudrillard. Jean Baudrillard, where Baudrillard talks about that we have only copies without the origin or without the original. This is the situation called by or labeled by Baudrillard as hyperreal or simulation. I hope it makes the entire thing covered. If you have any questions, anything, you can ask me, or you can ask me over telephone, or you can ask me via email. Thank you.